Hi guys, I wanted to talk with you a little bit about the distance formula today. So if you look at the directions, they say find the length of each of the three segments shown, put your answers in radical form and round it to the nearest tenth. So, length of AB. So the new notation, that's just referring to AB without a line over it. So when you have the line over it like we did here, that means the segment AB. But without the line over it, like what I just wrote right here, that is referring to the length or the distance between the 2 points A and B. So it's a very minor change, but just wanted to make sure we address it. So for A to B, since AB is a perfectly vertical line segment, we can just count. Literally 1, 2, 3, 4. AB is 4 units long. And that's all we have to do. So anytime your line is vertical or horizontal, just count. Okay. Now, if they're not, right? So the next thing it says and asks us to do is find the length of CD. So I'm going to show you two different options today, and you can choose which one works better for you. So CD, let's start with this. This is the distance formula. I'm going to write it down in this box. D equals 1 big long square root. And we've been working with coordinate geometry formulas already. So some of this should look familiar. So what we're doing is we are subtracting the two x's of the 2 points we're going to use, squaring it, doing the same thing with the y values, and then adding them together. And then, of course, take this big square root. So anytime you're going to use the distance formula, you really need to start by writing out what your points are. So on the graph, I'm going to write point C is 1, 5, and point D is 9, -1. So now you have your, sorry, I'm trying to get a different color. Okay. You have X1. I'm really sorry also, guys, about the quality of this, but I couldn't find my headphones to speak into, so that's why it's a little bit poor quality this time. Okay, so here we go. Distance between C and D. We're going to do distance equals x2 minus x1. So in parentheses, 9 minus 1, and then square it, plus the same thing with the y's. -1 minus 5, square that as well. And now we need to simplify, right? So 9 minus 1 is 8. 8 squared is 64. -1 minus 5 is -6. -6 squared is 36. Keep in mind that the numbers that I just wrote and the numbers that you will write in those positions should always be positive, because when you square a number, it's always going to be positive. Okay, so now we have 64 plus 36 is 100. So the length of that segment is not 100, though. It's the square root of 100, which is 10. So thinking about what that means, if we were to like spin the segment CD, rotate it, I should say, around point C, and make it lie horizontally, it would be 10 units across the coordinate plane. Okay, EF. So if that distance formula worked for you guys, you can do that every single time. However, I do want to show you another way. So in the distance formula box down here, I'm going to add a squared plus b squared equals c squared, which is the Pythagorean theorem. Now, some of you know the Pythagorean theorem as how you can find, oh dear, let me try that again. How you can find a missing side in a right triangle. So, if you are using this Pythagorean theorem formula that I'm going to talk about, the most important thing is that the hypotenuse, or the longest side, is always represented with the C. The A and the B, it doesn't matter which one is which, but the C, it's really important that you make the hypotenuse your C value. So you might be thinking, why are we doing this? There's no triangles in this diagram. So what you want to do is like for part C, we're going to be trying to find the length of EF. We want to turn EF into the hypotenuse of a right triangle. So you could go like that. There's a right triangle. You could do this. Either way, let's go back to the original one. And now you can count straight across. This part is 3, this part is 2. And now this is what we said earlier, we're going to call our C value. So now all you have to do is A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So A is 3, 3 squared plus 2 squared equals C squared. So simplifying this is not too bad. 3 squared is 9. 2 squared is 4. 9 plus 4 is 13. Nice. However, we're trying to find C, not C squared. So your final step is to take the square root. And I didn't get my calculator out to know exactly what the square root of 13 is. But the square root of 13 would be considered radical form. And if you typed that square root into your calculator, it would be 3 point something. I don't know exactly what it would be. And that we could then round to the nearest tenth. Okay? So I hope this helped you with the distance formula. If you need more practice, you know where to find me. Bye, guys. Have a great day.